We begin tonight in Sallisaw, Oklahoma, where just a short time ago we learned the man accused of killing 4 people across 2 states will stand trial. This comes after 2 days of testimony. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Doug Warner. Now, over the last 2 days, we've heard from dozens of witnesses on the stand before the judge made his decision. Stacy Lee Drake will stand trial. You're looking at KNWA's Gabriella Phelan. She's live outside the Sequoia County Courthouse. We'll get to her in just a moment. First, though, let's get you up to speed on how we got to this prelim hearing. Drake is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 in Sequoia County and another in El Reno, Oklahoma. Also, 3 counts of robbery with a dangerous weapon, possession of a stolen vehicle, and a pattern of criminal offenses. During today's hearing, witnesses revealed that documents belonging to one of the victims were allegedly found in Drake's possession when he was caught last summer in Morrilton, Arkansas. Also on the stand today, the Sequoia County investigator who responded to the double homicide in Gans, Oklahoma, who was also the officer to transport Drake back to Sequoia County after being captured in Arkansas. He says after Drake had his charges read to him and he was asked if he understood what he was being charged with, 3 murders, he responded, quote, "There was only 2 people in the place." Well, KNWA's Gabriella Phelan outside the courtroom. You were in that courtroom for the last 2 days, there when the judge made that decision, live in Sallisaw for us tonight. Gabriella?
That's right, Doug. After 2 full days of witness testimony, we now know that Stacy Lee Drake will stand trial here in Sequoia County. I sat in on both days of those preliminary hearings as the state of Oklahoma continued to present evidence in their case intended to prove that Drake was behind those murders. I took over 15 pages of notes and have some groundbreaking information from those testimonies to share with you. One of the first testimonies we heard yesterday was from a man named Chandler Stroman. He told the courtroom how he befriended Drake at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in El Reno, where Drake received a purple 7-month sober chip from the group. He described Drake as a homeless man who disguised himself under the alias name Chase. During that time, Drake also became friends with a man named Philip Emerson, who let him shower and clean up at his El Reno home. But just a few weeks later, Emerson was found dead and Drake stopped showing up to those meetings. We learned today that that same purple chip given to Drake was later found at a campsite in Oklahoma where police believe he was staying. Also found there, a business card for the El Reno AA group and .45 caliber bullet casings, the same type used in the murders of both Philip Emerson and Taylor Sharp. Another key witness was Arkansas State Police Special Agent Kristen Dumont. She was called to the stand where she was questioned for over an hour. We learned that she was on scene the day that Drake was found in Morrilton, Arkansas, and it was in those woods where officers uncovered evidence that broke the courtroom down to tears. One exhibit showed a Cherokee Nation identification card belonging to Tara Underwood, as well as an Arkansas driver's license. Also found was a CDL license belonging to Taylor Sharp. Drake's fedora-style hat was also found at the site, as well as Walmart receipts and a Motel 6 key card where he was shown to be, according to security footage. One of the most shocking testimonies was from a man named Stephen Jenkins, an investigator with the Sequoia County Sheriff's Office. Jenkins told the court that he was responsible for transporting Drake back to jail after waiving his right to extradition from Arkansas. Jenkins said he advised Drake of his Miranda rights and did not ask him any further questions until he arrived at the jail for booking. Once he read over his charges, including those 3 murders, Jenkins asked if he understood, to which he allegedly responded, quote, "There was only 2 people in the place." A deep dive into a tablet found at one of Drake's campsites also revealed searches for YouTube videos called 100 Greatest One-Liners Before the Kill and 100 Greatest One-Liners After the Kill. And after the judge's ruling, families of the victims could be seen hugging and embracing outside of the courtroom. We know now that that trial date is set for July 7th at 1:30, but that is subject to change. Of course, we'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. For now, live in Sallisaw, Gabriella Phelan, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.